she killed herself. It was a suicide, but nobody really knew why. After that mirror incident, everything changed. I stopped sleeping well. I kept waking up at 3 a.m., heart racing, soaked in sweat, my eyes wide open like something had touched me or watched me sleep. But Helena, she was always fine, calm and unbothered. Too calm. In fact, she never tossed in her sleep, never yawned, never even looked tired, like she was performing the idea of being alive, but not really living it. I tried to pretend everything was normal. Wake up, bath, lecture, jollof rice at the cafeteria, back to the hostel, rinse and repeat the schedule. But in the back of my mind, something had shifted, something had cracked open. And then came the dreams. Every single night she would be there, standing in the middle of our room, dressed in white, whispering, "Don't be afraid. Help me. Please help me." I would wake up crying, heart pounding. I couldn't eat, couldn't read, couldn't even focus in class. I started skipping lectures. I would just sit on my bunk, watching her, wondering what she really was, who she really was. Eventually, I told my friends, two girls I met in my department, Ada and Lara. We weren't that close, but they were kind enough to check on me when I missed too many lectures. One evening, we were walking back to the faculty when I said it. My roommate doesn't cast a reflection. Ada laughed first. "Chiamaka, beg, no start." Lara chuckled. "You mean like vampire things?" I was dead serious. I looked them both in the eye and said, "I'm not joking. I've checked many times. She sleeps behind me, but in the mirror, it's just me showing." They stared, unsure whether to laugh or look worried. Then I said, "Come to my room, please. I'll show you." We fixed the date. Saturday afternoon, and they came, same time as before. The room looked normal, a little too normal. Sunlight on the floor, my books stacked, Helena on the bunk, legs crossed, writing in her journal. I turned to them. "See her?" I asked. Ada looked confused. "See who?" "Her, my roommate Helena, right there," I whispered. They blinked. There was no humor in their faces anymore, just concern. Lara walked into the room slowly. "Chiamaka, there is nobody there." I turned to Helena. She was still there, still writing. I looked back at my friends and they saw nothing. "You guys are playing with me, right?" I asked. I pointed directly at Helena. "She's right there, on the bunk." Ada backed up slowly. "Are you okay?" she asked, gently. "I think maybe you need to rest." They left quickly, and I was alone again with Helena. She came down later that evening and said nothing, just sat beside me. She was close, too close for my liking. Then she whispered, "You shouldn't have done that." I didn't sleep that night, and the next morning, I packed a bag and left the hostel. I begged Lara to let me stay in her lodge for a while, told her I was having room problems. She didn't ask questions. I was grateful, and just when I thought maybe I could breathe again, she came back, not in person, but in my dream. She stood in the corner of the room, crying this time, not whispering, just crying, tears like oil down her cheeks. "Help me, please. They buried the truth. Don't let me stay forgotten," she said to me. I woke up screaming. The next day, I returned to Hostel 7D. I needed to know, needed to understand why this was happening to me. Why was I the only one who could see her? The room was quiet and empty. Helena wasn't there, but her things were. So I started searching, pulled out her metal box, dug under her clothes, found a Ghana must go, zipped shut at the bottom. Inside there was an envelope, old, yellowed, and soft at the edges, taped shut. I opened it and pulled out a school ID card. Name, Helena Chukwuma. Mat number, PSY/17/066. Faculty of Social Sciences. I stared at the year 2017. That was 3 years ago. I felt cold, colder than I had ever felt in my life. I ran to the Student Affairs building, holding the ID like it was burning my hands. Asked to speak to someone, just anyone. They said the former hostel matron was around that day. I found her, an old woman with tired eyes. I showed her the ID. She took one look and went still. Then she said, "That's Helena Chukwuma. She died. That was 3 years ago, in room 7D. Immediately shivers ran through my spine. I was frozen. My knees gave way. She held my hand and whispered, "She killed herself." It was a suicide, but nobody really knew why. What happened next will shock you. Subscribe to my channel, stay tuned, and wait for part 3.